We always begin with gratitude. So I want to thank you for being here and for doing whatever it is you needed to do to show up here. I am so grateful and honored to have your presence and your energy in this space. And I hope that you're allowing yourself the space to be however and wherever you are at this moment. I'm LA and I'm a holistic wellness therapreneur and the creator of this channel, Reconnect with You. For those of you who are new here, welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. If my vibe and energy or any of the contents of this channel resonate with you, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I will be posting videos on Sundays at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Solitude Sunday to send y'all some good vibes to start off the week. This channel has a primary focus on wellness and will include sound baths, affirmations, tips for different aspects of wellness, and short talks focused on you and your relationship with yourself, which is the foundation for all of your other relationships and aspects of your life. So, are you ready to reconnect with you? If so, come on in and get comfortable, whatever getting comfortable looks and feels like for you. Today, I want to talk to y'all about the power and importance of pausing and taking moments to pause. I'm going to share with y'all the why, the how, and the when to pause. Before I begin, though, I want to acknowledge a pause of my own. I have taken a break. It's been a couple weeks since I posted my last video. The weekend before last, I'm not gonna lie, I needed a break, y'all. So I didn't post a video. And then last weekend, I'm traveling to attend my sister's college graduation. At any rate, I'm grateful to be back and to connect with y'all at a time when I'm feeling more rested and can be more present with y'all. So today's topic was prompted by a recent conversation that I had with my dad, and actually something that I've just been sitting with. So me and my dad, we were talking about something. I can't remember what the hell we were talking about. And during our conversation, I felt myself getting really anxious. And I remember my dad was talking about something and I was listening to him and I was like feeling the physiological symptoms in my body. I felt myself like escalating. That's what I call it. And I was like, I need a moment, or I might have just said aloud, let me pause, because I needed everything to stop. In the conversation, at least. And then there was silence, which is exactly what I needed at the time. And in that silence, in those moments, I took a few deep breaths before I resumed speaking and engaging in the conversation. And that was so helpful for me because I was able to identify my needs with myself. I was able to communicate my needs with another person. And then I was able to pause and move through the conversation from there. And by pausing, I was able to continue the conversation from a place of being able to be a little bit more present and just being able to be more aware of how I was feeling and how that conversation, and not even the conversation, but just how what I was experiencing, how that was impacting me. So I want to start with the why you should pause. Because you can. You should pause because you can. And I think sometimes we acquiesce to the expectations that others might have of us, and we don't realize, like, you can stop, you can pause, you can take a break if you need to. And I don't think we always recognize that, or remember, I should say, we don't always remember that we can do that. You should remind yourself that you can take a break and you can pause because you can give yourself permission to do that. You should also pause or take a break to help to calm and center yourself if you need to. So going back to the example that I gave before of the conversation with my dad, I wasn't even able to really process what he was saying or be present with him because I was getting more and more anxious as the conversation went on. And so at that point, I needed to pause. And if I had not taken that opportunity to pause, things might have spiraled out of control for me. I might have lashed out at my dad. Anything could have happened, but because I took that moment, I was able to calm myself and calm my body and kind of center and ground myself. It's really a form of a grounding exercise, being able to pause. The last thing I'll say about why you should pause or take a break if you need to is because it's an act of resistance. It's an act of resistance because there is so much pressure to do, to be, to produce, to be productive, to keep going, and to not stop. You need to take breaks. That's a very healthy thing to do. That's a form of self-care. So how can you pause? Going back to something that I just said a few minutes ago, you can pause just by taking some deep breaths. And other things around you might be continuing, whether that's conversations, whether, whatever's happening around you, those things might continue. But you yourself, you can pause, and you can do that by taking some deep breaths. In through your nose and out through your mouth. And what I like to do when I take deep breaths is I'll, I call them deep and cleansing breaths. And I will breathe in through my nose, and then I'll hold or pause, and then before I exhale, and then I exhale. And remember to not rush the process. Remember that you are pausing, and you should give yourself permission to really be present with those moments. Another idea for how to pause is that I will take my left hand and I'll put it on my chest, and then I'll take my right hand and I'll place it on my belly. And I just breathe, and I'm being present with myself. And so that's another way to pause. And I've done this before in conversations and meetings, and it's just another way to pause and connect with yourself. Another way to pause is that you can get some fresh air. You can literally, whatever environment you're in, whatever space you're in, you can leave that space. And that can mean you stepping out on your balcony, getting some fresh air. That can mean you going for a walk. But really, what I am suggesting is that you find a way, if this is possible and appropriate for your situation, that you find a way to physically remove yourself from whatever space or environment you're in. The last thing I'll say for how you can pause is I just want to reiterate what I shared, or the example I gave in the conversation with my dad. And that is that you can announce your pause to other people. The reason I'm suggesting this is that sometimes when you are kind of in your pause, other people may not be aware that you are pausing or that you need to pause. And it's happened to me before where I will say, hey, I need a moment, and the other person will keep talking, or they will keep they'll keep going in whatever was happening. And it's like, no, I don't think you understand. I need a moment. I'm gonna pause. I would really like some peace or some silence right now. So announcing your pause to other people, not because you need the external validation, but because you want to really practice communicating your needs, and you want to put other people on notice in the space that, hey, I'm pausing. If I get quiet, it's because I'm pausing. It's because I'm going inward. It's because I am taking the moment that I need to center myself so that I can bring my awareness and my attention back to this space. Next thing I want to talk to y'all about is when you can pause. And my response to that is anytime you need to. You can literally pause anytime you need to. Whether this is at the grocery store, when you're checking out in the checkout line. This could be before answering a question or before responding to someone's question. This could be before responding to an email. Or this could even be after doing something, allowing yourself time to process and pause after you've completed a task or a particular action. I wanted to name those so that you have some examples but also just reiterating that you can pause anytime you need to. When I was traveling last weekend for my sister's graduation, the line was moving a bit slow, and I wasn't necessarily running late for my flight or to get to the gate, but I was cutting it kind of close. And I remember we were going through the TSA checkpoint, and I remember getting kind of anxious. And in that moment, I was thinking to myself, like, okay, I think I kind of need a moment. But I don't know. I won't say that it's not appropriate to pause, because I don't know that it's ever inappropriate to pause. And maybe if I think about it some more, I will be able to identify sometimes when it is inappropriate to pause. It's because there are so many other people involved, and there's physical movement involved, and your pausing could impact the movement or lack thereof of the other people that are involved. I wanted to share that example so that you can keep in mind, keep in mind these examples when you are identifying moments to pause. And I'm not sharing this with you to say that you shouldn't pause, but in this moment, I'll share with you what I did. In this moment, I didn't necessarily pause in terms of coming to a halt, but I did take some deep breaths, and I moved a little bit slower because I felt like I was rushing. And sometimes if you are getting anxious, fast movement can escalate the situation. It can make you feel even more anxious. For those of you who are new here, I always end each video with a prompt for reflection or journaling after the video. So the reflection or journaling prompt for today's video is, when was the last time you paused? And I want you to reflect a little bit further on this and just think about why in that moment, the last time you paused, why did you pause, and what did that pause bring up for you? Well, that is what I have for y'all today. I look forward to connecting with y'all again soon, but in the meantime, reconnect with you. Namaste.